It was a presidential vote that has caused mayhem. The re-election of Ali Bongo as the president of Gabon has been hotly contested and is now being disputed violently in the West African state by supporters of his opponent, Jean Ping. Police deployed tear gas and water cannons to disperse the crowd that converged near the Constitutional Court in the capital, Libreville. Fires were also seen burning on the streets of Port Gentil as security forces clashed with protesters. Ali Bongo beat the leading opposition candidate Jean Ping by just 1.6 percentage points to secure another 7-year term, a margin of barely 6,000 votes. The opposition has described the election as fraudulent and has called for the results from each of the polling stations to be made public, a demand echoed by the United States and the European Union. Jean Ping, a veteran diplomat, has said that 2 people were killed and many more wounded when the Presidential Guard and police attacked his party's headquarters overnight. But the disputed election victory keeps alive for now a family dynasty that reaches back 5 decades. Ali Bongo was first elected in another vote marred by violence after his father Omar died in 2009, after 42 years as president.
Well, Francis joins me now in the studio with more on this. Francis, can you just give us some more context and the background to these elections?
Well, as we mentioned in that report, there has been a long-running dynasty by the family. There are EU observers on the ground in Libreville. They've been there before the election and they've been studying the process. Now, before the election took place, and it was on Saturday, I believe they went to the polls, results weren't until a couple of days ago, they were saying that it wasn't entirely transparent. And so a lot of people, including the opposition leader Jean Ping, were saying, we don't think this is going to be fair ahead of the vote. Now, as we mentioned, a very, very close vote, barely 6,000 people, 6,000 votes between the 2 candidates, and that's in a population of 1.6 million. And there is some question as to whether in some regions the count has been entirely transparent and indeed accurate. But as we say, this has been a ruling dynasty dating back to independence from France in 1960, and it has continued so far with this result.
I suppose there's a big difference, isn't there, between not entirely transparent and fraudulent, as the opposition are claiming. I mean, do we have any idea how fair these election results are? Well,
there's one province in particular where there was a 99% turnout of votes, and 95% of those votes did go for the incumbent president, Mr. Bongo. The point is that elsewhere in the country, the turnout was something like 60%. So they're talking about one particular region at the moment. But there are calls from all the major powers, including France, the former colonial power, for these results from each of the individual polling stations to be made public, to be made transparent. Until that happens, there's still going to be a lot of concern and a lot of trouble on the streets.
And how worrying is that situation, the fallout that we've seen?
Well, it's been getting very unpleasant in the last 24 hours. In fact, since the election results started, there was a storming of the National Assembly in the capital, Libreville. That was set on fire. Then security forces then went to the opposition headquarters. And according to the leader of the opposition, Jean Ping, who is a veteran diplomat in Africa, he said that 2 of their supporters there were killed. Many more were injured, as we reported in that package we've just run. So people are still on the streets. They've closed down the centre of Libreville. The security forces are out and keeping people at bay, but there was a lot of anger, mainly in the suburbs, you understand, outside the centre, and a lot of concern about this result. There's a feeling that they did expect something will go wrong, and it's coming to pass, and this seems to be fueling their anger.
OK, Francis, thank you very much.